everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery. Got a product video for you today. We wanted to tell you about the Mathews 5-pin bridge lock by Axcel. This is a sight that is made by the folks at Axcel for Mathews. It is Mathews branded, of course. You can see Mathews Archery right there. And right now, the only bow that it fits on is the Mathews V3X series of bows that have that bridge lock technology. We'll tell you about that unique mounting fashion. But first off, I mean, this thing has everything that we love about Axcel sights. It is bulletproof, solid, has all the adjustments that you need. There are right-hand and left-hand versions of it. You can see it's a short, stubby sight. It's going to put your pins about 4 inches from the front of your riser. That's going to be your sight distance there. But you're going to notice we've got the great Axcel scope here. It is a 5-pin sight, as I mentioned. Look at all that fiber you got wrapping around the outside. And of course, with the Axcel scope, you are going to have the movable rheostat here. So, you know, if you're shooting on a bright sunny day and your pins are just starbursting, you can slide that rheostat cover over and quiet those pins down. So that's always a great feature. For adjustments, let's talk about the axis adjustments. So these 2 screws right here, that's going to be for your second axis adjustment. Second axis is basically going to be you adjusting your scope this way. As you level it, that's going to be your second axis swinging that way. Then you're going to have these 2 screws on the back. That's going to be for your third axis. That comes into play with uphill and downhill, and that adjusts your scope this way to get that level as you're leveling your sight. So it's got second and third axis. Of course, we expect that on an Axcel. Now, it is a 5-pin sight, so you can set those individually. 5-pin, a standard setup's going to be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And how you do that, I love this about Axcel sights. So you can see in this slot here, you're going to have a series of screws. Each one pertains to a sight pin in the scope housing. And they're stacked. So your top pin, your top screw is going to coincide with your top pin, and then as you move down inside there, they're staggered in here left and right, but they're going to match those pins inside the scope housing. So what you do to move these sight pins individually is pretty ingenious. You're only going to loosen the pin that you want to work with. So let's say I'm working with my top pin there. I'm going to go inside here and I'm just going to loosen that pin. Okay? Now, underneath here, you have this dial. So watch that top pin now. As I spin that dial, you can see that top pin is moving up higher. Turn it the other way, it comes back down. Then once you get it set where you want it, you just come back to the Allen screw, tighten it down, and now nothing, you can see nothing moves when I spin that dial when everything is locked into place. So you're going to do that with each pin as you're setting it. You know, as we mentioned, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. As you're setting those, you're just going to loosen it, turn that dial, your pin will move up or down. Super secure and ingenious system there. I love that about these Axcel sights. So when you go to sight in this sight initially, you're probably going to want to move the scope up or down so you can get your 20 pin. You know, you're going to want your 20 pin as high up as possible in there, depending on the speed of your bow, so you have room to space out your other pins. But to move the whole scope in that initial sight in process, you got a locking lever right here. I'm just going to flip that. You can see it's now loose. Then I'm going to go to my elevation knob and I can just move the whole scope up or down. It's kind of a micro click, micro dial, just with that knob right there. And then, of course, you're going to have your windage. That's going to be right here. Again, another locking lever. Flip that forward, and now I can move this scope left and right. You are going to have laser engraving. You can see it's kind of on the underside here. That's going to give you marks so you can see where you get your sight set. Again, on the elevation and the windage, that's going to be what you're going to use that for. Once you get it set where you want it, come back to the locking lever, hit that, and then that's going to lock it in place. Now, as we mentioned, this is the bridge lock sight. So this does not mount to a bow in the typical fashion. There is no bracket that comes with it. Again, it is only going to be used right now. The only bow that has this feature are the Mathews V3X. There may be some more in the future, but for right now, this is what it fits. And so you've got your bridge lock here. I have the V3X33. There's the bridge lock right there. This sight just slides right in. There's only one detent in there, so I'm just going to slide it in until it stops. Then your Mathews bows, they come with a detent screw in here. However, you're going to get one in the sight box as well. So in case you lose that one, then you're going to have another one. And then I'm just going to tighten that down. Once that thing is firm in there, that sight is locked into place. And again, the feature of that, as you can see looking forward, you're just taking that bulk off the side. And now this sight is perfectly in line with the riser. Just great streamlined sight system that Mathews and Axcel came out with. Then you can have your low profile quiver. Everything's tighter to the bow now with this new bridge lock system that Mathews and Axcel worked on. All right, so that is the Mathews 5-pin bridge lock sight by Axcel. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that bell to get notifications whenever we put out new videos. And as always, if you have any questions, you can visit us at LancasterArchery.com.